Hello and welcome once again to Scorpion Cigar Reviews. Today I will be reviewing the Gurkha Status. It comes in a rather attractive tube. This is actually, I believe it's glass. Maybe it's a plastic, but it's frosted. Real nice packaging, real nice. As usual, Gurkha spends a lot of effort, a lot of quality on their packaging. Remove the cigar from the tube. So inside that nice little tube you have your rather sizable Gurkha Status. This thing is probably, well, if I had to guess, it's a good 7 inches or better by probably a 50, boy, being so long, probably a 52 ring gauge, something like that, maybe a 54. Churchill size if I ever did see one. Light milk chocolate brown wrapper. Tight seams. Hard to see them, but they are there. Some minimal veins. Nice pack, firm construction. Has a double or a triple? That might be a triple cap. Not a whole lot going on with the scent on the nose. A little bit of spice in there. I can feel I'm not really smelling it, but you get that kind of tickle when you're smelling the spices. Oh, now the foot. A lot going on the foot. Some earth, some barnyard. A lot going on there. Some definite spice. Alright. Wrapper has a dry, unfinished leather feel to it. Using my Zycar cutter. Pre-draw is a little tight. Lots of hay in that pre-draw. Lots of hay. A little bit of leather. Okay. Here to toast it up here. Okay. Doing this review today at the request of my friends from Finland, Donnie and Skeed. They do some reviews, PETSKU 23. Good couple of guys. They've asked me to review a Gurkha for them, so I picked one up yesterday and reviewing it today. The initial lighting, some real strong white pepper notes in there. Maybe a little bit of Cajun spices in there. No, not Cajun. Cayenne. Cayenne spices. Initially, there was a kind of an off aftertaste I've gotten from a lot of cigars. I'm not sure what that taste is, but I do often get that. I always have a hard time describing what it is, but the pepper is overpowering it. So, okay, I'll get somewhere into the first third, and I'll be back. Here we are, just about 10 minutes into the cigar. Things burning really quick. You can see I've got well over 1.5 inches, close to about 1 3/4 inches worth of ash there. Burning really pretty darn evenly. Nice crisp burn line. I don't know how long the ash will hold on for, but I'm going to go ahead and see if it'll flick off there. Yeah, probably would have fallen off any minute into my lap. So far, this is a low end of medium body. There's a slight sour note to the cigar. Not so sour that I'm put off by it. There's definitely a sour note. The draw is still quite tight. Tighter than I like. There is a white pepper note on the retrohale. Not a whole lot going on with the cigar. Pretty one-dimensional, real mellow, real subtle. So I'll get, I don't know, maybe somewhere into the second, third, and I'll be back. Here we are, just about 25 minutes in. I have, about another 1.5 inches worth of ash here. Still a good, even burn line. Crisp burn line. Cigar is burning rather quickly. I'm already into the second third after only 25 minutes. Considering the size of this cigar, I just looked up the dimensions of this. This is a 7.2 by 50 ring cigar. I can see there's a good sized crack in the ash. I'm going to go ahead and flick it off. Alright, there we go. So, I paid right about $12 for this cigar, which for the size of the cigar seems like a pretty good deal. However, it's burning really quickly. Very tight draw. Getting a little bit of, not really bitterness, but still that kind of sour note. I believe that's the Connecticut shade wrapper. Generally, my own personal taste, I'm not a big fan of the Connecticut shade. Sometimes it's, for me, it's okay. It just depends on the rest of the blend. But for me, even though this is a rather sizable cigar, even if it was burning a little more slowly, just think $12 is a little high for this, just based on the flavor profile and that type of thing. Not getting a whole lot of complexity. Slight hint of, I don't know, almost a cardboard. Not quite a cardboard, but I don't know. Just it's not bad. It's not putting me off. It's not something that I say, oh God, I can't smoke this. Just not to my taste. I generally prefer a little stronger cigar. This is, it's actually mellowing out a little bit more as the cigar progresses. It went from a low end of medium to, at best, an upper end of mild. Well, I'll continue on. I'll get somewhere into the final third, and hopefully it'll pick up in some flavors and that type of thing. This really, for a Gurkha, of the Gurkhas I've smoked in the past, they tend to be a lot more flavorful, a lot more powerful, a lot fuller bodied. But you know, they have a rather substantial line of cigars. So this is just one of them. Just not to my taste. So I'll get into the final third and I'll be back. Here we are, right at about 45 minutes in. I'm well into the final third. I have, once again, about an inch and a half worth of ash. Just starting to burn a little bit unevenly, not too terribly bad. Getting a little bit of a blister right there. Go ahead and flip the ash off. Came off nicely, and I'll go ahead and remove the band. There were two bands on this, one with the generalized Gurkha label, and then the other designating that this was the status cigar. I removed the status label. They're about halfway through the second third. I was getting close to the band. Still a rather tight draw. The body's kind of wavering between upper end of mild and lower end of medium, kind of going back and forth a little bit. Picked up a little bit of a white pepper kick on the retrohale. Other than that, still has the cardboard. The smoke is starting to get a little bit dry here in the final third. Pretty much a one-dimensional cigar. Not much going on. The flavors are really subtle and short on the finish. Yeah, just not a lot going on. Doesn't mean that's bad, just some people like a one-dimensional cigar where there's not a whole lot going on. They don't like a lot of flavor changes. Personally, I like a cigar that has very definitive changes from one flavor to the next. I like my flavors to be very forward on the palate. I don't mind occasionally having to search and pick out something that's hidden within, but for the most part I like there to be dominant, rich, full flavors, and this cigar does not have that. So if you want something that's rich and very full of flavor, this probably wouldn't be a cigar for you. But I'll continue on into the nub, see if there are any pleasant surprises or any nasty surprises, and I'll be back. Here we are, 1 hour in. I'm in the nub. Now you look at that and say, well, that's 3 inches of cigar there. How are you calling that the nub? Well, when you've got a cigar that was over 7 inches long, I'm approaching the nub. The ash is starting to get a little loose and flaky here in the nub. We'll go ahead and flicked it off nicely. It's picked up in strength a little bit. Picked up in body slightly. It's probably more of a midline medium body. Picked up in the white pepper a little bit. Other than that, that's about it. Really, no real changes with this cigar. It's pretty even keeled throughout. I'll continue this on through the nub, but I'll go ahead and end this review here saying that the Gurkha Status 7.2 by 50 ring, Connecticut shade wrapper, $12 at one of those discount tobacco shops. While the presentation and the packaging was of the typical upscale Gurkha, I think overall it's a little bit expensive, but for a Gurkha that's not all that expensive. I mean, they are the most expensive cigars in the world. This was one of their more value-lined cigars. But for a one-dimensional cigar, that might be a bit high on the price yet. And the fact that it burns so quickly, over 7 inches, and an hour into it, I'm into the nub. Wasn't a whole lot of scents going on the nose, other than the foot did give me some very definite hay. The smoking of the cigar had a few sour notes throughout. A little bit of cardboard in there, a little bit, not real bad. Mostly white pepper notes. Pretty one-dimensional. Subtle flavors, short on the finish. Not a whole lot going on with the cigar. Wasn't a bad cigar, just not to my taste. So I thank you for once again watching Scorpion Cigar Reviews. See you next time.